All right. We are live. Hey everyone, it's Pedro here, your body health coach here at Vita. And welcome to today's live session. Are you scared to move and throw your back out again? That is the topic we are covering today. So, if you ever found yourself avoiding certain movements or activities because you're worried about your back, you are not alone. And today we're going to break down why that fear happens and what is really going on with your back. And most importantly, how to get back moving confidently. Okay? So, here's what we're going to cover in the next few minutes. Okay? So, why you're scared to move and why that fear is totally normal. Yes. How to tell if you are dealing with sciatica or bulging disc and what that really means, how your body's habit play a role in your back pain, the brain pain loop that keeps you paying around. Sorry, the brain pain loop that keeps your pain around. Yes. Three practical exercises to help you get started today. Okay, so before we begin, I think it's important that we are that we understand what we're talking about. So I'm going to give you a quick story. Okay, this is a story about a client of mine. Let's call her Sarah. There you go. So Sarah used to love going for walks in the park with her family, but after hurting her back once picking up groceries, see, she started skipping those walks because it just hurted. She was scared that just one wrong move would put her back in agony for weeks. So she missed on birthdays, outings, even just sitting on the floor to play with her kids. It was actually dreadful. She was scared because she didn't want to feel her pain again. So this is common. Back pain can rob us of the things we love just because of the pain. Um, but actually, the problem is not really the pain itself. The problem is the fear. But before we continue, let's understand it first. Okay. So Sarah went out to pick something off the ground and she felt her back pain. Now, the problem, it wasn't the movement itself. Our backs are made to move, okay? The problem is what led to her back pain to happen. See, our bodies are always trying to communicate with us. If we feel pain on the lower back, 9 out of 10 times, the problem is not on your back, it's upstream or downstream. What I mean by that is something else happened and the back pain is just an outcome. Make sense? Okay. So your back pain is just a signal. It's something that your brain is trying to talk to you. So by addressing the pain itself, you are not addressing the root cause. Sarah bending caused the pain. So the problem is not the bending, is why is her in pain in the first place? Why can't she bend? Well, again, 9 out of 10 is downstream, okay? The hips are not moving as they should. Yeah, there's a muscular imbalance in there. So some muscles are working more than others. For example, okay, this is a very common problem. People that let me try to bring this even closer so you can actually see my feet. Okay, this wasn't planned, but let's go with it. See, a lot of people when they walk around like this, correct? With their toes turned out. Now, I don't you might not see any problem here, but a lot of people that walk around like that have back pain, have knee pain. Why? We're meant to walk like this, yeah, to go over our toes, land with your heels, toes. And that's how we walk, yeah? If your toes are turned out like this and you're walking around like this, notice the difference when I walk? I am supposed to go over my toes and land with my heels. If I'm walking around like that, I am skipping my toe altogether. Even though my feet is turned out, but this is actually happening at my femur here. If I turn them out, my femur will be turned out. And if I keep on walking like this, the problem won't happen here, okay? The problem will happen above it. Because your legs are turned out like this, some muscles on your hips will start to work more than others. These muscles that are working more, they will get overused, okay? Some muscles will begin to be underused. Some muscles will be firing a lot more than others, okay? Some muscles will receive more blood flow and nutrients than others. This is a muscular imbalance at the hips. When your hips can't move, all the pressure from walking, from living, will go up, will travel up. Often enough, your lower back. So this is one example of how you walk could be affecting your lower back. I'm not saying that this is your problem, but what I'm saying is if you are experiencing lower back, this is a symptom. Okay, we need to find the root cause. Often enough is body and mind. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Now, back pain is very difficult. Okay, it can mean so many things, and it's pretty complex. Okay, so I want to talk about the most common ones. Yeah, so let's start with sciatica. Sciatica is basically a nerve that starts from the bottom of your spine and runs behind your leg. Yeah. So a lot of people that have sharp shooting pain throughout the leg tend to be sciatica. Now it can be two things. One, the nerve can be compressed at the base, or the whole nerve is inflamed and hyperreactive. Okay. So let's give a bit of a test. Okay. I want to sit there so you can do the same. This is so you know if your back pain is actually sciatica or not. So we're gonna sit right on the edge, okay? Pick the painful side, okay? So that's why I'm wearing two socks, okay? So say my painful side is my left side, my black sock. I'm gonna extend my leg, okay? Now, I want you to round your back a little and lean forward. Does this causes you pain? Yeah? Okay, let's start again. On the edge, okay? You're gonna extend your leg. You're gonna tilt your head back. Now, as you bend your leg, I want you to tuck in your shin, round your back. Does this cause you any pain? If yes, it might be your sciatica. The nerve might be overworked. So, a few things that you can do. One, you need to desensitize the nerve because it's been hypersensitive for such a long time. It's just how can I say? It's not inflamed. It's actually hypersensitive. Yeah, like when you burn your arm, as soon as you touch it, it hurts. It's sensitive. That area is sensitive. So we can do two things to desensitize the nerve. One is by calming your whole nervous system by breathing. Okay, so Daryl talks a lot about using your breathing and stress management to really calm your nervous system down. So your whole body now is not on a fight or flight mode. Just by doing that, you can reduce the sensitivity throughout your whole body to then do the second part, which is the sciatic nerve floss. Okay. But if you don't want to go back and watch Daryl talking about it, you can just focus on your breathing. Think about inhaling for 3 seconds, exhale for 6. Feel your body slowing down. Repeat this about 10 times. Okay. By the 10th time you do the breathing exercise, you're going to feel more relaxed. okay, then you start to desensitize the nerve with sciatic nerve floss. So here's what we can do. You can lie on your bed, but in my case, I'm going to be on the floor here. Here. Okay. So you're going to hug your leg like this, okay? You're going to keep your head on the ground. You're going to extend your knee until you feel something pulling behind your leg. You're going to twist your toe towards you and up to the sky. Towards you, up towards the sky. Flex, relax. Extend again. Feel the stretch. Toes towards you, toes towards the sky. Okay? So even though I did this on my right leg, you pick the leg which is in pain, okay? Just bending your knee, extending your knee, move your toes up and down. This is basically you flossing that nerve, but your nerves has to be calm, okay? So you've got to breathe to relax. So this is sciatica, okay? A lot of people live with it, but you don't need to, okay? You can get better. You can improve your pain quite a bit. Second one, bulging disc. Now, before I get into it, I want to throw you some facts, okay? 50% of people do have bulging disc, but most of them, actually 80% of people who's got bulging disc don't feel any pain. So if you've been to the doctor, they gave you an MRI and it showed a bulging disc, yes, it means that you do have a bulging disc, but that does not mean that you have to live with it. Make sense? Okay? You can relieve a lot of pressure from bulging disc because let's understand it. What is bulging disc? All right, so how can I do this? No, this is not full. There you go. This is better. Now, if there's a lot of pressure, so this is the bulging disc, okay? This is the disc which hasn't been bulged yet. Your spine is above it and below it. If there's a lot of pressure below, because there are tight and weak muscles, there are muscular imbalances, there's a lot of pressure coming from below. And there is some pressure coming from above as well. And then when you move your back and your hips are not functioning as they should, there's more pressure, which means, can you see it coming out? Yeah. This is how bulging discs happen. I'm going to use it this. So bulging disc is just a symptom of something deeper happening, okay? There's a lot of pressure happening around your back or your hips, and that pressure is traveling up to your back. So doing movements that take that pressure off, establishing a muscular balance back onto your hips will take a lot of pressure from your back, and that bulging disc can recede. Okay, that is possible. That is doable. Unless living with bulging disc is something that you want and you want to be feeling for yourself, and you can use that as an excuse to say no to a lot of things. That's you. You do you. And a lot of people like to be in that feeling sorry for myself position. If you want to get out of it, we can help, but you've got to have a curious mindset. See, this is a big problem with people with back pain, okay? They avoid movement regardless of what is happening with their backs because, one, yes, they were told to rest by their doctors, which is what they do. They wait for it to get worse, and then they give you pills. And then when they don't work, they take you to surgery, okay? Now, if you want to avoid surgery and all that, apply a curious mindset, okay? What is it? Well, first you need to understand it. It's like if you need to tighten up a room and the room is messy, but the lights are off, you will be able to tie a few things up. But when you turn the lights on, it's going to be a fucking mess. You trying to sort out your back is basically you trying to tidy your room with the lights off. You try a few things here and there. They might solve, but the overall picture, no, you don't solve anything. You're not treating anything. You're treating the symptom, okay? So what I want to do here is turn the lights on so you can address what is at play, okay? So this is the first. We need to have a curious mindset and understand our backs. How do we do that? Let's understand it. What are some of the movements that we can do, and what are some of the movements that we cannot do? That's the first step. Second step, within the movements that we can do, what is the pain threshold? So for example, okay, spinal cars, it is one of the best movements for your spine, okay? CARS stands for controlled articular rotation, okay? So let's understand it first. If we twist our backs like this all the way, this might be very painful for some of you. So instead of coming from here all the way to here, and that gives you that sharp shooting pain, you don't go all the way, okay? Again, apply a curious mindset. Instead of saying, this movement causes me back pain, ask yourself, how far can I move in this movement before I feel back pain? So here's what we're going to do. You're going to breathe again. You're going to breathe. You're going to calm your nervous system down. You're going to desensitize your whole body, okay? Now, you're going to twist just a little bit. Okay, ask yourself, is this painful? If not, you go a little bit further, just a little bit. Is this painful? No. A little bit more. Oh, I am starting to feel something. Now, ask yourself again a question. On a scale from 1 to 10, what is this sensation? Is it a 3 out of 10? Is it a 7 out of 10? Is it a 9 out of 10? If the pain is above 3 out of 10, you are going too far. So your movement will basically be start from here, and you're going to end here. This is as far as your back can handle before starts shooting pain. Make sense? So this is you applying a curious mindset on the movements on your back. So one thing that you can do for your back, you can move, okay? Side twisting, go for about 10 or 15 on each side. Again, a 3 out of 10, don't go above 3. Here's the thing. Like Sarah, she bent over to pick up something from the ground. She felt back pain. In that moment, her brain took a snapshot of the scenario, of the movement, her emotional state, her stress levels. Anytime she tries to pick something off the ground and the setting is similar, your brain is always trying to predict the future, okay? Predicting the future gives us some sort of peace, yeah? We can plan our lives knowing what is about to happen. It makes us feel calm and secure, okay? What is anxiety? Is your brain always trying to predict the future, what is about to happen? So our brains are always trying to protect us, to keep us safe. It's always trying to predict the future. So when the setting is similar to when you experience your back pain, your brain will feel, oof, the pain is a protective mechanism. So when Sarah bends over, your brain preactively is going to shoot down a signal to your lower back, and you're going to feel back pain. Now, this is your brain trying to protect you. If you're just addressing the physical symptoms of your back, your brain is still in high alert mode. Now, this is in the beginning of the pain, okay? Some people are experiencing back pain for months and months, only addressing the physical aspect of it, totally ignoring the emotional side of it. So Yes, exercises will improve the hip imbalance, which is amazing, but it's 50% of the work. The other 50% is addressing the emotions behind it. Your brain being on hyperactive mode, high alert. So if you bend enough times and you feel pain enough times, even a very small motion is enough to trigger your brain to protect you, because your brain's associating this with danger. Okay, and as human species, our brains try to protect us. So if you bend is dangerous, you know what, let's not bend at all. If you try to bend, I'm going to cause you pain. This is your way of brain, this is the your brain's way to protect you. So what do? You've got to retrain your brain. If doing this hurts, this is all you're going to do. Okay? If bending forward this much hurts your back, you don't go all the way to reinforce your brain's protective mechanism. You reduce that movement to this. Okay? This is enough to let your brain know that bending is actually safe. Okay? And the safer your brain think this is, the further you can start to bend, the more movement you can start to add. And this is how you progress from little to no movement to a lot of movement. Applying a curious mindset, pushing a little bit deeper, respecting your pain limits. Okay? This goes for every single movement out there. You can perform anything when you got back pain. For example, no, not anything. I'm sorry. This is a lie. If you've got back pain, might not be a good idea to do crunches. Okay. So we want to do safe movements that avoid your back from moving too much. For example, a side plank. I'm going to try to, let me see if I can share my screen real quick here. Mirror camera. No, I don't think I can. I should have done it before. All right, so I'm going to show you guys. So one movement that can be done on the floor that is highly effective for your back is a plank and a side plank. Okay, so let me show you and why these are good. First one, plank. Okay, you can do with your knees down, elbow under your shoulders, knee under your hips, core tight, and just hold this position. Okay, now really important, squeeze your glute, squeeze your core, and stay here for about 30 seconds. Second exercise, the side plank. Elbow underneath your shoulder, knee on the floor, straight line, shoulder, hips, and knee, and just hold. This is the side plank. See, this is off the ground. Your core is tight. You are engaging your core. And you are strengthening your lower back. So these two are two exercises for your core. For your hips, well, I really like the butterfly, okay, the adductors. So you can sit flat against the wall. Your knees might be up here. If they are, it means that your adductors are tight. So you breathe, and every time you exhale, you're going to push a little bit further. And then you're going to hold on this position for about 2 minutes. Okay? A second exercise that is really good and really important, that plays a big role in your back pain, is your hip flexor, which is attached to your adductor. Here it is. Knee under your hips, hips under your shoulders. You're going to squeeze your glutes. You're going to feel your pelvis tucking, and then you're going to push your hips forward until you feel the stretch. Hold here for about a minute or so. If this is too easy, you can lift your back foot Okay, same thing. Now, for some of you, this might be a lot. All right, a big stretch. You can push your knees forward to make it easier, or you can push it back to make it harder. All right, now same thing, squeeze your glute, push your hips forward, feel the stretch. Hold it here for about a minute or two on each side. Okay, so these are actually 4 exercises, 5 if you're counting the cars, spine cars, controlled articular rotations. Okay, so 1 for your spine, you can move in all directions. So you can twist, bend, and move all the way over to the other side. Come back up and reset. Okay, so if you do these rotations here 5 times each side, you are basically just hugging your lower back and saying, it's safe. You can chill the fuck out. Okay. So controlled articular rotations, again, understanding how much you can bend before you feel pain. Now, how this works. If people are scared to move because it hurts, okay, let's start from the beginning. If I want to bring my hand towards my shoulder, and yeah, I am flexing my biceps. Cool. Now, if I extend, I am extending my biceps. I'm flexing and extending. That's how muscle move. That's how joints move. When this happens, yeah, my brain sends blood and nutrients to the muscle. Blood, nutrients, and oxygen helps with muscular recovery. But if something comes in, something has to go out. What goes out? Waste products. Okay? You don't need to go into the detail, but this is a healthy muscle. Blood, nutrients, oxygen comes in, waste product goes out. That's why it's so important to move to stay healthy. Now, when you suffer pain and you avoid movement, you get a lot less blood flow in the area. You don't get a lot of waste products going out. Yeah? What happens? There's a buildup of waste products, and that creates more inflammation, and that leads to less blood flow into the area. And then let's make it worse. You work hard and you're seated for the most of the day. Yeah, we're not talking about your lower back. So your hips, they get weak from not being used. Have you heard that saying, if you don't use it, you lose it? That's basically it. Yeah, your body will adapt to whatever you do. If you're not moving enough, your body will adapt to not moving enough. So it's going to weaken all the muscles. If you are seated, the first ones that will get weak is your hip muscles, which is going to create an imbalance. Okay. So now we've got pressure coming from below. Your lower back is now inflamed. It's not getting enough blood flow. And your brain think it's unsafe to bend or to twist. This is the perfect recipe for a chronic lower back pain, which affects 1 in 6 Australians, 1 in 4 or 5 Americans, 1 in 5 worldwide. This is bad. Why? Because people are scared. So understanding is the first step towards change. So movement, yeah, any of these movements, it's good to, let me tell you why. You're gonna bring blood flow to your lower back, yeah. You're gonna get that muscle to move as it should, even though you're moving just a little bit. It is enough to bring a little bit of blood flow. Something is always better than nothing. You gotta start somewhere. So starting with very short movement is amazing. Second, you've got to let your brain know that it's safe to move. And you do that with movement and hypnotherapy. That is why me and Daryl are doing what we're doing. We're giving you physical and emotional tools to get out of pain from home in less than 20 minutes a day. And it's cheap. So you stay in pain if you want to, but you don't need to. Okay. takeaway from today's session: move. Don't be scared to move. Your lack of movement is actually making things worse. Follow us on YouTube. There are loads of very good content explaining the whys. So you can make better informed decisions on your back. There are movements, emotional and physical movement. Subscribe. Now, if you want to take a step further, if you are ready to act, click on the link below or in our bio and join the 14-day back pain reset. Yes, for four, like we're not gonna solve your back pain in 14 days. No, we're not promising it. But this is the first step towards a life pain-free. We're gonna give you education. We're gonna give you body and mind movements. Yeah, so you can get through that first fear door. So you know what to do. So we can retrain your brain and your body to get out of pain. Um, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this live session. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let us know. Follow us, that helps us a lot. And have a beautiful day. See ya.